me down there that day 15 times. Ain't never been trial over it yet.
What do they throw that out?
No, it ain't
Did you go down there?
I went down there and the state police didn't show up.
Oh.
They supposed to be in there in my behalf. Same boy that done that shooting, we gave him $2,000 for his wife in hospital sick. Our local, he's out of our local. Then turned around and tried to shoot me down here on old Wesley Justice. Got to pay him big hospital bills they had. And then he's down here scabbing and trying to kill me.
He's from over at
He was on 50.
I didn't understand him, did you?
No.
You're rolling.
Okay.
I got a radio that talks pretty clear. Don't need one?
I think it'll be okay, but...
Yeah, buddy.
Who's Daddy Dog?
I don't know. You want to try to get that Indian on there if you want to get one talking about drugs.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The one with that blue Mac with the...
Are you just rolling, honey?
Yeah, I'm just,
Thing. You should probably turn the battery off when I'm off.
you're off there.
I'm on right now.
Wait till I get ready.
What about the Scab Village at one time?
Okay, Ann, I'm ready.
Let me just make sure this is... Let me see. I'm still monitoring the CB on one light.
Okay, Ann, I'm ready.
Okay, tell me about why you can't stop the scabs here. Let me try to get...
Well, it's hard to stop them when most of them, you know, is either been a city cop or a deputy sheriff or something, you know, before this thing got started, and they got political ties and they know everybody. And the ones that it's not a deputy sheriff or a city cop or something, they're convicts or something, you know what I mean? They don't care to use a gun. And what are you going to do when you got these kind of people to fight against? You got Tommy Copley, he used to be a city cop in Winston, make one both. You got Ricky Starr, used to be a city cop, and they was the first two to haul coal down the creek, you know what I mean? They had the laws right there with them. And then every security guard you got on Blackberry was either a constable, like Glenn Francis, or a deputy sheriff or something like that. Like Walker Dotson up here, he's a deputy sheriff. All right, he owns about half his coal trucks running up and down the creek, and the state police goes in there and reports into him. You can sit up there with your camera, and if you don't believe me, and film him. They check in there a dozen times a day with him. He's just like that with him. They babysit him, take his trucks up and down the road. How you going to stop him, you know what I mean? And you got the law working against you. They laid their badges down and went over here and took badges for Massey. You know what I mean? Put on his security uniforms and throw their old uniforms away. And what are you going to do?
Why'd they do that? Did they pay better?
Well, you know them then. Yeah, they paid better. They said, the heck with the people, all they're going to do now is just fill their pockets up, and they don't care what happens to everybody else. And that's what you're up against. How you going to stop something when you got the law against you?
What about this trucker and this big black Mac here? What about you one time, buddy?
Yeah, and something else, anytime we get a news media in here, why, they holler non-union coal. And this is not non-union coal, this is scab coal. But
Okay,
they
tell
do
me
that.
what the difference is.
Yeah.
Tell me what the difference
Well, the
is.
difference is this is union here all the way, has been. These men are just out for a contract, and they brought out-of-state thugs and scabs in here to take their job. If it was non-union, they call it non-union coal, it would have never been no union to start with. We wouldn't have had no say-so without the men who voted for a contract. But this is union altogether.
I never thought I'd see the day that we'd have something like this out here, though. Not necessarily as far, you know, we were all raised up, all of us, you know, were raised here.
I mentioned
We
it
were
to
raised
Daily News.
union, not no scab.
I got on a Daily News man up there that Mark Francis about calling it non-union paper and non-union coal in the Williamson Daily News. Well, he said a lot of people away from here might not know the difference. Said, you say scab, they don't know what you're talking about. I said, man, what's the matter with you? They know what scab is in Poland.
The head of these
Yeah.
security guards up here used to be the chief of police in Macon.
So you've always had some people like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They've hired every deputy sheriff and everybody that's had any kind of ties with law enforcement, they've hired them. They've laid down their old jobs and went to work for Massey.
I know.
Now, how you going to
that.
fight something like this? You know what I mean?
Well, you tell me, how are you going to
That's
fight
what.
it?
How are you going to do it? You can't do it. You can't fight the law and fight these
We can
scabs too.
fight them. The International Union sent us support enough help in here to shut it down.
What kind of help?
Well,
Manpower.
what we got to have is manpower, and somebody
you
will
see
fight.
what we're against. We're a handful of men against all these law enforcement officers trying to get our jobs back. We can't do nothing. They just load us up and take us in. We got enough people here. What are they going to do? They're going to get back out of the way, and we're going to take our jobs back.
Rich Trump has already admitted that Massey won't sign a contract and ain't going to sign a contract. So I'm wanting to know what he's going to do. Is he going to let them go on, or is he going to send us help in here to shut it down? That's a question I want to ask him. We can't do it right now by ourselves. They've let it get too big, and it's their fault.
We had them stop down here, and they come in here with these bullhorns and told us we didn't get back home. A bunch of renegades. We're going to take your checks, and that's the end of it. We had them stop, scared to come on the road, scared to do anything. All right, they sent us home. They got the bunkers in here and machine guns in here and junctions on us. We can't even turn around and breathe air now without getting a ticket or getting arrested. They've got every law they can get against us, made-up laws. Kentucky law is you can carry a handgun as long as it's visible. Now, they got a judge down here to say that we can't even carry a handgun now. We can't do nothing.
A judge,
And you got shot at,
And
right?
I've been shot at several times.
a judge from
And it
another
ain't even
county.
brought to court. And it's been 6 months ago.
See, we in Pike County over there, and our judges wouldn't even try the case or hear it. They sent it to Wolf County down there in Scab Country. And he ruled down there we can't even carry a gun. And I don't see how he can violate the laws of Kentucky by making a law like that against us.
Well, how do the companies get the laws on their side? How do they do that?
Politics. Nothing but we
Most
ain't got
of your-
nothing but scab lovers. Arch Moore and Martha Lane Collins, governor of Kentucky, the biggest scab herder that ever come to Kentucky.
Most of your politicians around here has got something to do with coal.
Oh, yeah.
They're linked to coal operations all around here. Just about every politician around here, judge, whatever.
Well, tell me this.
Sheriff.
Who's A.T. Massey anyway? What is that company?
Their headquarters is out of Richmond, Virginia. It's a corporation, what it is. I think they're hooked up with this flour company and
Flour Corporation.
yeah, and Dutch Shell. They all connected together. From what I hear, he's got slave labor in South Africa. They tell me they work them men over there a year at a time and they never go home.
So how do you compete against people that are they're working like that?
It's going to take It's going to take some bloodshed. What it's going to take. Hey, this won't be settled without somebody getting hurt. There's going to have to be some people get hurt to make them know we're going to keep the union here. Otherwise, we can forget it. If Rich Trump don't want to send us help down here, he can kiss it goodbye. His salary will be off too. Because when this goes, the union goes. This Massey's the sixth biggest coal company we got now in the world. I don't know whether you know that or not. But now, if this goes, it's gone.
Not only that,
Rich will be in the unemployment line just like the rest of us.
if the union leaves here, people will be working for nothing. You won't have no highways around here. All the money in this area will leave. You'll be driving through mud holes. There won't be nothing around here. People will be working for $30 a day. And Massey will take barrels of money out of here and take it in other states or overseas and other places. And the people around here won't have nothing, but they don't realize that yet. But they're going to realize it before it's over with, or when it's over with. We can't afford to lose it. If we lose, we're just going to have to pack up and move. There won't be nothing around here anyhow.
If Rich and them's afraid of finding the international some money, we just might as well have let them bust it and start again. Because it's busted anyhow if we don't do something. It's gone if we don't do something, so he might as well just make up his mind to send us stuff in here to do it with and men to help us.
What are these truckers like? What kind of people are they? Are they really on dope?
They're dope thugs or any, I don't know what you'd call. They're scums is all I know.
Well, there's two pulled pistols on me one day. I had a confrontation with one of these cameramen that works for Massey. and we was just about to get into it, and two of them come out of the building buckling at the knees with automatic pistols with the hammers back, and they couldn't even hardly hold them in their hands. Now, you tell me what they're on. And they're driving trucks. And they get in them, they crawl in them. They don't get up in them, they crawl all fours trying to get in them. So they're on something heavy. And they got to be on something heavy to get in them trucks and drive them down the road knowing they may be shot at any day.
Well, what
That
is
takes more than just guts.
Yeah.
There are people that Massey wouldn't even allow on their property if it wasn't for this thing right here. And when they get through with this, they'll get rid of them.
Do you ever feel sorry for him?
No, I don't feel sorry for the son of bitches. Sure don't.
You think they know exactly what they're
I
doing?
wish they'd
Well,
every one
sure
fall
they
dead
know.
and slide in the river. Go on down to Mississippi or somewhere, get them the hell on out of here. That's the way I feel about them.
Well, who's your enemy at this point?
Morgan Massey.
Morgan Massey's the big enemy, and I don't know what we're going to do with these scabs and guards here. They're enemies, that's right. Hey, they catch one of us off to herself, they'll talk mean to you, do what they want to do to you.
Don Blankenship runs up and down the road with his bulletproof vehicle, and we can't afford to do our vehicles like that, and we ride up and down the road and they're popping shots at us. A friend of mine just missed by 2 inches about 2 weeks ago going across the Blackberry Mountain in his truck. But he can get out here and ride up and down the road, and he knows he's got all this stuff going on. He's got these hired thugs running up and down the road taking pop shots at us. I've been shot at several times. But he can go up and down the road here and got all these state police protecting him in a bulletproof vehicle.
If you've got a union sign in your car, it's dangerous to travel at night in this country here. Because they get on the road, they'll shoot you too.
I've switched vehicles 4 times since this thing started. And believe me, it's hard to afford it.
How do you feel about all this fencing and stuff like that?
Well, hey, it's the prison's all it is. Instead of
We never need
They
no
got-
fences before.
they never did need it before. Okay, right over here at Eastern on Pond Creek, Piston Coal Company's doing the same thing. They're getting ready next.
They've already asked me to take a cut.
Jerry works for Quinchfield.
They're wanting to
It's a
renegotiate
fact.
a
Jerry
contract
knows
right
it.
now.
He's been over there.
They say they can't stand this $3 a ton royalty. They want to renegotiate a contract.
Who's that? That's part of Piston?
Yeah, Piston. Because this thing here has went on so long, they figure they can get away with a little bit.
All of them get away with it.
But yeah, it's going to be a chain reaction. If we don't get some help in here and we lose this thing, it's just going to go right on across the country. We got to win.
Well, I don't see why Rich and them's worried about the fine anyhow. It's our money they're going to use to get fined with. We put it in there. Rich didn't have nothing when he started, so if we let him bust it, he still ain't got nothing. It's our money, so I'll say put it to us. Send the stuff here to work with. If it takes 20,000 men, send them.
I think we ought to get whatever we need to win this thing. I think we ought to go ahead and win it. The longer we take on this thing, the stronger they get. We need to get something done now. We don't need to wait. It's to their advantage. The longer we wait, the stronger they get built up, and the more people they get working. We need help now.
Can I pause this for a minute?
Sure.
Piston is just like Massey. They'll be pulling out of it too if they bust this union here. In fact, the whole BCOA and independent operators and all will pull out. They say Massey can do it, we can.
Right.
And it's a plain case.
BCOA won't do
Piston,
nothing to them.
Pistons already have putting up a 10-foot fence just like they got here around their tipple and everything over at number 5 on Pond Creek. They got it looking like a prison yard already.
They've
So is
already
there such a thing as a good coal company?
no.
Well,
They're in it for one thing. That's the money. They can care less about us. We're just numbers. They don't care about us. They've already asked their bosses to take cut and pay, and they've already told their men that they can't afford the royalty that they're paying. They want to renegotiate a contract. And the reason for all this, they've seen how far Massey's went with us, and they got the feeling that Massey's winning this thing, and they're going to try to get away with murder. And next contract, they're not going to sign no contract. They're going to drop out of the BCOA, and they're going to do the same thing that Massey done. They're already getting their fences up. They're already getting prepared.
Driving Coach Cheese's truck here, boy.
Who's that now? Tell me the
Piston.
name of the company.
Eastern Coal Company.
Who is that Indian
Piston
truck?
bought it out, I'll say, a couple of years ago. Piston bought it
Hold
out.
on, buddy. Talk to us. Tommy ain't got your tongue bone there.
Okay, we got it.
Okay.
That way I can see.
I'm getting loaded right now, so it'll be a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy to do that, buddy. Grab on, sir.
You want a hand in it, Dan?
Here's you got about one leather down me toe right there, number one down me. I want that to make the test real good and that's through right there. Now we want it that we need every drop that we can get. And as soon as we get that whole nose straight back, we're going to want it on big time so we double on each truck.
Now, what are we listening to? Just tell me what we're listening to. Come on. What, are we listening to company people or who are we listening
Company people down Sprout Street.
to? So what are they doing? They're telling the men where to go, or?
Common Village, Charlie. Yeah. Tell them where to go.
So the company people direct the truckers what to do every minute?
Yeah.
You want to try to talk to them again?
They won't, Tommy won't let them talk to you.
Why not?
I don't know. He gets mad at them when they talk. Pick
Well-
them up first, Dean. I usually can get them to talk.
Much more fun got on the road today. I'm not on the yellow back, Scab. Much more on because he got 3, maybe 4. And you got one out there at number 1. Okay, perhaps if she has 1 or 2 maybe. That's the part which you load that is we send a truck up there. Hey, Keith. Yeah, buddy. People get a hold of Pat and nothing else pop off and they haven't let my fork trying to get that car back there. Being tied down, I'm afraid to say this.
Get some nice shots.
Slimy, stinking scabs out there.